Hello, everybody. Um, I am supposed to be doing a live today at 12 p.m. GMT, which is now, and I am live, so yay, I'm here. Um, but I had wanted to show you a theatre setup for unexpected situations where a birthing person might experience needing to go into the operating room or theatre. Language changes depending where you are in the world. But what I have discovered is that I can't flip my camera from me to the theatre setup, which I had really wanted to share with you. So what I'm going to do is um, just very quickly talk you through now unexpected challenges and how, even if it's an emergency situation, it doesn't always have to be a traumatic experience, and how you can ensure that you feel as prepared as possible. And then I'm going to have to do a video separately on the theatre setup and what you can expect from all the different people in a theatre situation. And I'll have to drop that in the comments. So thank you for your patience and understanding and bearing with me as I figure out the tech. And leave me any comments or questions. That would be amazing. So let me get my notes. My name is Mel. I'm the founder of All Things Birth and Beyond, and I'm on a mission to support, inform, and empower women in their transition to motherhood. And so what that means is that usually I am talking about a relationship with the self and with your child and with your partner, and how we transition into the new identity of mother, and what that often looks like. There's a name for it, matrescence. But this week I felt really compelled to just share with you some top tips on preparing for an empowered birth, or being more empowered in your birth experience. We know that birth trauma is experienced by 1 in 3 women in the UK, and that maternal suicide is the leading cause of death postnatally, in the first year postnatally in the UK. And it just leaves me speechless. So I hope that by sharing this information that I have done over the last few days, that you feel more empowered, and that perhaps it will lessen your chances of experience an aspect of your birth as traumatic, your baby's birth, your birthing experience as traumatic. So da, da, da. So a theatre situation can feel really scary, especially if it's unplanned. And even if it is planned, it can often feel overwhelming when you go into an environment that you are not familiar with, as with anything. Often an unplanned cesarean is, not often, always, an unplanned cesarean is referred to as an emergency, but doesn't necessarily mean that it is a true emergency. So you get different levels of emergency. And so perhaps, for one example, might be that if a woman or birthing person chooses to have an induction of labor, and perhaps the induction process doesn't work as expected, then the next so perhaps it doesn't have the desired effect that the healthcare professionals are expecting, then they would suggest a cesarean birth. This would be referred to as an emergency, although it's not a true emergency. So, and other instances where the mother or the baby's life is in imminent danger, and that would absolutely be an emergency. So it's in these instances that many people find it really useful to have awareness and understanding of what the setup looks like. And so that's why I've said I will drop a link of a recorded video that I'll do for you of what that looks like. So usually the woman or birthing person will be awake, and in these instances their birth partner will be with them. But in the rare event that a person needs to have a general anesthetic, then she will not be able to have her birth partner with her. And we need to remember that it will be really, really busy with a lot of people, and this can often feel overwhelming, especially if unexpected. So, things that you can do to reduce your chances of experiencing it as traumatic is thinking about the things that we've discussed over the week, such as having an understanding of what the standard procedures are and in the medical management of a physiological labour and birth process, remembering about decision making and informed consent. Before you consent to anything, ask for more information. Find out what the benefits and the risks and the alternatives are for anything that is being presented to you. And be involved in that decision making process. That really, really is very important. The other thing that you absolutely, most people are not aware of, but you absolutely have the right to request, is what your birthing environment is going to look like as you welcome your baby into the world, even in an operating room. So thinking about what we discussed yesterday around the role of hormones and the importance of oxytocin, not only in the labour process, but for bonding with your baby, for breastfeeding if that's what you choose to do, and for supporting your emotional well-being. And so thinking about perhaps putting a few essential oils on a hanky or a piece of tissue that you could smell when you're in the operating room. Or perhaps it could be that you want a certain song to be playing whilst your baby's being born. You can take that music in on your phone and have it playing. You can ask the anaesthetist to hold the phone for you, or to play the music for you. You can request that at the time that your baby is born, that your voice is the first voice that your baby hears. So you can request that none of the healthcare professionals in the theatre setup perhaps talk for a few seconds. Obviously they need to be talking to each other about what they're doing, but they can absolutely ensure that there are a few moments of silence as you welcome your baby into the world. You can discuss cord clamping. You can request that before all the standard procedures such as weighing your baby and etc., or putting a nappy on your baby can be delayed, and for your baby to be brought straight to you. So just thinking back over the last 3 days, the information that I've shared means that you can write a really robust birth plan, so that no matter what your birthing situation is, whether it's an unmedicated, undisturbed physiological vaginal birth, or it's an assisted surgical birth with forceps or ventouse, or it's a surgical cesarean birth, that you have input around what each of those situations might look like. So I hope that has been really, really useful for you. And like I say, I've mentioned earlier on in the week, I run a Preparing for Empowered Birth and Beyond program, which is a mentorship and information sharing and support. Sorry, there's a bit of noise going on. Information, support and advocacy for you. There's group Q&As each week, fantastic peer support, one-to-one support with an independent midwife, Deb Snyder, and obviously one-to-one access with me, and is available to you at a if it's something that you would like to discuss with me or look into further. As I mentioned yesterday or the day before, I have decided to offer a masterclass in infant feeding, and I'll be doing that on Zoom. So if you are interested in that, where I'll be talking about colostrum harvesting, tongue function, what a baby's how to support a baby's feeding reflexes, breastfeeding and bottle feeding, especially when things don't go according to plan, then this is absolutely for you. And send me a message or drop something in the comments and let me know that you'd like to join, and I'll send you the Zoom link for that. So have a fabulous day. I hope you found this useful. I'd really appreciate your feedback. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this, and yeah, hopefully it's been useful. So wishing you well on this last day of 2020, and sending you much love as you move into 2021.